Hi, everybody. Welcome to TBS. Um, Today, I want to go over the royal stuff just to let people know where I am and where a lot of readers are at. We've been covering this since the beginning. We've all known pretty much the truth since the beginning. The Royal Grift put up somebody on her channel, a tarot reader, talking about Harry and Meghan. And pretty much word for word, a lot of us have that same reading because we were all confused and upset. We wanted to know the truth and what our job is to find out the truth. So I kind of wanted to just say hi, and this is weird. I don't think I've ever done this where I face the camera and talk to you about something large, but I guess I will. Like I said, a lot of times when I care a lot about a subject, I get biased. And if I read, I can guarantee at least 25% of it's going to be wrong. And this happens with family and friends, and this happens with, the Chris Cornell thing and potentially the Royals. Um, when I try to read for them, I just kind of get the same thing over and over again, which is the overall theme, which I'm going to go over today. So, pretty much, Harry had some really weird stuff he liked to do sexually. And being a soldier, coming back, being alone, and everyone else has someone, he actually did want to find a wife genuinely. He wanted to find someone to love and have his own family. He knows that he had limitations, and he was dealing with a lot of PTSD or CPTSD. Now, this is not just from combat. This is from his family abusing him with neglect. I know that people don't want to think about this, but William and Harry were abused after their mom died. Pretty much Charles didn't give a shit about them, and neither did Camilla. Camilla even told them to their face, "I'm not going to be your stepmom." So they were kind of to themselves, and a lot of people stepped up to try to help them. But with Harry, there was already an underlying personality problem, maybe oppositional, defiant, something. And that could have come from his genealogy, or it could have come from environment. I don't know. Probably both, as it usually is. But so Harry's coming at a relationship with a lot of baggage. Everyone knew this, but people were rooting for him because when he talks to the public, you could tell that he cared and that he really did want to be an agent for change, but not just that, an agent for people to be happy and have love in their life. He wanted to help the world. And the problem with him is that he can't see the big picture a lot of times, or he'll get it wrong. And a lot of soldiers do that because they're used to being given orders. And if they disobey the orders, they'll get in trouble and it'll hurt other people. So that kind of stays with them the rest of their life. And it's hard for them to get a grip on reality when they come back, not because they're mentally insufficient, but because emotionally they're confused. It's just hard to change who you are immediately when you come back. So Harry trying to find a lady was big in his mind, and his family wanted him to find someone too, and especially Catherine and William. And he did try over and over again, but for whatever reason, it's because of his personality and problems, and also because of the way that the press acted towards the royal family. Most of the ladies, the ladies couldn't stand it. They couldn't handle it. And he also had this weird sexual streak, which a lot of ladies wouldn't deal with. So that was another problem. So Meghan coming along and finding him in this position was either politically motivated or personally motivated, or both. I think it was both. And she definitely saw him as an easy mark. She had worked at Soho House and had done many sexual things with many different people. She knew a lot of what soldiers like. When you're in that industry, you get to know the kinds of different men, and you get to know who likes what. And she would have come right off the bat at him with liking the stuff he liked. And for Harry, this would have been a jackpot to him because it was so hard to find ladies that would do what he wanted. Um, I purposely have blocked my mind. I don't want to see what it is. I'm sure it has something to do with impact play, but I'm not sure. I just don't want to deal with it. It's their business. But Meghan never loved him. She wanted what he had, or she wanted to ruin the royal family. Um, I don't know if she wanted to ruin the royal family until after they rejected her or what, but I can guarantee you they rejected her from the very beginning. She used being pregnant, slash quote unquote whatever, to get Harry to engage and all that, and then they got married. I don't know if their marriage was a sham or not, but whatever, it's a sham in love because Harry did try after the sexual specialness wore off. He tried to love her, and he tried to see all the good in her. And she played up to that because she still had her goals that she wanted to achieve. She wanted to be some kind of politician or some kind of power person in the world, and it didn't matter how she got it. She had this dream of royal family living through the Diana years when she was younger. She was really obsessed with that. So her not having a lot of power and wanting it, pretty much Harry was open season. It was open season on Harry. And I don't know why other ladies didn't think of this, but for whatever reason, they didn't succeed or couldn't get at him. She got him when he was vulnerable. And she may have known Andrew already from Soho House. She may have even sexually been with him. It's unknown, but I kind of don't want to know that either. But I guess I should try and find that out. But for whatever reason, she did have some inside knowledge on him. And whether they went on a date at Soho House, they had he paid for it first or whatever, it doesn't matter. She married him. So after this happened, she decided, and the royal family hated her and were not going to accept her. And this was classism, truly at first, and a little bit of racism. But then later it was just because her personality was horrible and she was a bad person. And I can say bad person because she uses others and doesn't care about what happens to those she leaves in her wake as a narcissist. She actually thinks that she deserves what she gets that's good and doesn't deserve what she gets that's bad. She lives in a black and white world that is very bizarre to regular people. So, anyway, since Harry couldn't get what he wanted exactly out of this, he tried to make the best of it he could. And he wanted to, once she decided she was against his family, he decided he was going to bring down his family and make them pay for the mean things they did to him or didn't do to him. He has a lot of problem with his dad and brother. And this comes from years and years and years of being treated different than William. And I don't care what anybody says. Emotionally, that hurts very bad. Yes, he had a lot of privilege, and he does still, but he doesn't actually understand that. He doesn't know how powerful he is. Meghan tells him, but he still doesn't believe it. And that's why she's annoyed with him almost all the time, because he doesn't understand what she's doing or what she wants at all. It's kind of sad. She's a lot smarter than him, I guess, in a lot of ways, and clever, but she can't see the big picture either. And what she sees is also flawed. So the Queen getting sick and Prince Philip getting sick and dying, and then the Queen dying, and Charles coming up up to what he always wanted to be, king, and Camilla, what she always wanted to be, queen. They pretty much shoved Harry out of the way because he was in the way. And they used his problems with Meghan to help make them look better. And I know you guys are like, well, how did they do that? How did they do that? Just like Meghan uses the press, Charles uses the press, and so does Camilla. They're actually, it's so funny. They're so similar about their knowledge of all this and caring what people think that Meghan essentially married his dad. That sounds horrible, but it's what he did because he wanted to be close to his dad, and his dad didn't want to be close to him. Now, William and Kate, they have their own problems, and they saw that this was all going to hurt their children, and so they distanced themselves as soon as possible from Meghan and Harry. Meghan told the royal family she was pregnant, and that's why they were engaged. And then she said she lost the kid, but then it would be like they aren't getting married, so she pretended to be pregnant. Now, a lot of people say they have surrogate children. I actually don't believe that. I think they don't have any children, and the children they do use are rented / they're their friends' kids. And they also doctor the pictures to make them look more like family members. I was fooled by that as well. But if you look at the layering in Photoshop, you can tell that the kids' faces have 2 layers, not 1. So I don't think they have any, number one, because she had a hysterectomy when she was in her early 20s. And her family can attest to that, and her friends can attest to that. Another thing is she does not like children and does not want them near her at all. And I think she knew that Harry wanted them. And so she did fool him a lot in the first pregnancy. She fooled him, and it was so weird. She probably said, oh, I feel sick, I can't have sex. Like had this horrible moon bump. But all this being on the stage, the world stage, is insane that this is that this happened. But this is all, if you think about it, this is all Charles' fault because he does not want to face anything that has to do with that might hurt his esteem in the public eye. And if you guys want to know why he's like that, read all the books that I did. It's impossible to talk about all of that now, but just suffice it to say that he's either a covert narcissist or he is codependent to Camilla, and she is a narcissist. 100%. There's nothing else she could be. The way that she acted. So the royal family environment breeds ridiculous, stupid avoidance of reality, really. And Harry, wanting to be part of the real world, thought this was going to be awesome. Unfortunately, everything's fallen down around them. Meghan used Archwell behind Harry's back to save money and do the tax write-offs and all that. She knows all about Hollywood. She told him they would move to Africa, but of course they didn't. They moved right back home to LA. Now, I don't know if the Queen kicked them out or they left, but it could have been a bit of both. I'm not really sure on that. So if you guys want me to read on this, I will, but I'm a little afraid to put it out there as public. But I mean, I guess I could just put the proviso out that I may be wrong, obviously, just like on all of them, but this one might be a little bit more wrong than others. So anyway, when we read it at first, we didn't have any opinion, like back in 2019 and whatnot. But anyway, so you get miserable Harry, Meghan, who was happy but now is not because everyone's turned against her because they found out the truth. Her letting down all the minority girls that believed in her. She didn't care at all. She never cared. And she pretty much regressed Harry back to being a child more than even that he was before. And where he is now and where she is now, he's holed up separate, alone, and isolated because his family won't take him back because they think he is compromised. And they believe more in preserving themselves than in Harry's well-being. Now, when Meghan and him get divorced, they'll let him come back. But it's just, it isn't loving. William does love Harry, and Harry does love William, and Catherine loves them both. But this has been horrible because he turned on everyone thinking that Meghan was going to give him love that his family didn't give him, and he started being angry. I mean, if you read Spare, the whole thing is a manifesto against his dad. And also his feelings towards William too. But anyway, he's tried to make it in the world. He's failed. He doesn't know what to do now. Meghan is using all of her connections to try to get higher in the world, to not lose the power that she's gained. So she'll be talking to politicians and rich guys, trying to get their help. Now, she has saved a lot of money, ferreted it away in some hidden accounts, tax free and all that. So she actually owns more money than Harry does now. And when they get divorced, I'm sure that she had to sign a prenup unless they got married in Africa, like on a whim. So pretty much because it was American soil, she still gets the money. He gets nothing. So a lot of his inheritance from Diana will be Meghan's. She already has it all figured out. She has the paperwork drawn up. She's just waiting for the right time to do it when it makes sense in the public eye. Now, Harry probably knows this by now, but doesn't want to admit defeat to his family. And what will play out next is Meghan will use her victim status once again. I mean, she's been putting out PR pieces and advertisements for months now, constantly talking about what she cares about, and why she's good, and why all this is the royal family's fault and Harry's fault and everything. It's kind of sad, but so that'll keep going on. I don't think people are going to help her like I used to think. I thought there's going to be some politician that's going to want her help or whatever. But because Oprah and Tyler found out the truth and washed their hands of her, she's kind of a pariah now. And Harry became that in association with her. When all this is over, he'll go back to the royal family. They'll send him to Africa, or he'll ask to go. And he actually will do a lot of good work there. And it's kind of awesome because he won't be distracted anymore to do his work. He'll be doing it, which is really cool. So pretty much they're over, and they never were in a certain sense. Meghan is a very, very dangerous person for one reason. She's good at lying. Now, me as a reader and other people who are just, we just understand people, we saw it a mile away. But I'd say about like 70% of people can't tell, and they actually believe what she's telling them. And I'm not saying I'm better or anything. It's just like how it is. People are better in business than me, and whatever. So I think that she's dangerous because she doesn't care who she hurts to get what she wants, and she uses sex and now power to get what she wants. And to some men, they can't resist. They just can't. Even if it's a one-night stand, they can't resist. She could say she's pregnant. So it's obvious that Andrew and her did not like each other. Whenever they were in public, they would not look at each other at all, and they would be on separate sides if they could of the balcony, etc. They definitely have some kind of history or dislike towards each other. It might not have been history of Soho House, and it may not have been sexual, but they definitely didn't like each other. And being both narcissists, I could see where that could be a big problem. There's a lot of nuance to this, obviously, but that's the general gist of what I see and what a lot of other readers see. I wanted to give you it in a nutshell so that you could kind of understand. Let me know what you guys think about this. The whole thing about the kids, She's using that to make the royal family freaking scared. She wants to make them like shiver and think that she can get more money out of them or that she's going to be connected to them the rest of her life. It's like an FU to them. It's not real. Now, the reason why people keep coming up and saying that I double down on this, but almost everyone is like, no, 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 they have kids. Maybe they do. I don't know. I'm just telling you, there's no way she does. She would, I've seen this over and over again. I used to be a teacher. Um, there are certain parents that merch their kids, and she's one of those. She would see them as an extension of her, and not love them, but use them. They would have been in the media since day one, constantly, and obviously, right now you can find the birth certificate um, of Archie, and it's not signed by Harry, and the the one of Lilibet seems to be fake, or something else is wrong with it, but she didn't even get an announcement. So I just want you guys to know the royal family is deeply flawed, and they hurt people, and the good that they do is large because of their charities and because of the way that Charles has learned about the environment and all that. But it crushes, this machine crushes people. And Harry was made into what he is today by this machine. I hope that William and Catherine rose above it, and I hope they're good. I hope that they'll be a good leader for England, for the UK. But William went through a very similar childhood as Harry, and no one knows how he's coping with that. He says he got a lot of therapy, but we don't know exactly what that means. If he's telling the truth, it just means that maybe all that did help him, and he could go through forward with Catherine and get over a lot of stuff. But a lot of times, people like that are secret drinkers, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's what William is. I used to believe so much in all of this uh, pageantry and how it helps people feel good about themselves and everything. But now, as an adult, it's just you have to see it for what it is. It's smoke and mirrors, and it's a lot of money. So hopefully this helps everybody, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.